Rigor is essential for progress. And I don't mean progressivism. I mean the opposite of progressivism. I mean actual progress. Write this down because this is important. Lowering test score standards makes people stupider. I'll just wait while you underline those words. Lowering test score standards makes people stupider. Well, how can you say that? Well, it's pretty simple, really. If you have a standard that has to be achieved, and you fall short of that standard consistently, you're falling short of that standard that has been established prior, because whatever you need to reach that standard, you're not getting. You're not getting enough education, not getting enough training, not getting enough anything. Here's the standard of what people have done before. This is the standard of excellence, or even the standard of mediocrity, for that matter. It's a standard. And when people stop coming up to that standard, it's because they're not getting what they needed to cross that bar. So when you lower the bar, which is all we do now today, is lower the bar everywhere. When you lower the bar, you are now saying that people with less education can move on. And as the bar gets lower and lower, the amount of things you need to know, the amount of training you have to get or whatever, becomes less and less and less. And so people get stupider and stupider and stupider. If they would raise the bar slowly, but continuously, we'd get smarter and smarter and smarter. But we don't. You know why? Because raising the bar is harder than lowering the bar. That's why. Major General Christopher Donahue, the last American soldier to leave Afghanistan, took something else with him as well. He didn't take any of the night vision goggles that we left there. He didn't take any of the supplies we left there. Now, he actually had a piece of Taliban equipment. It was basically a Jeep-like vehicle with a fairly sophisticated anti-aircraft gun mounted to the back. Now, he said he wanted to take that back to show how the U.S. Army was able to regain the tactical advantage during our final days in Afghanistan. But what he doesn't say is that there were anywhere from 50 to 100 Afghan refugees who were already on that plane. Not people who said, hang on, no, you're on the plane. And apparently, this is what the story is saying, Major General Christopher Donahue, the last American soldier to leave Afghanistan, basically told families, women, children, kids with teddy bears, that kind of thing. I'm not making this up. Get off the plane. We're bringing this war trophy of ours back to America so I can put it on my base and talk about what an amazing job we did. Just when you think the disgrace can't get any more disgraceful, here you are. And when I heard this, when I heard that 50 people, 100 people were taken off an airplane to be murdered by the Taliban, and that is what has already happened to them or will happen to them in the near future. These are people who gave their lives to help America. These are people who took an enormous gamble with their entire families to help our soldiers, to save our soldiers in many cases, and naively enough thought that maybe we'd be grateful for that. So just imagine yourself now as a man who has in fact worked with American forces during our time in Afghanistan, saved American lives, and has now been given the promise that he was given in the beginning, which is, if things go sour, we'll get you home. He and his entire family board a C-17. They're sad to be leaving their home, but at least they know they're not going to be murdered. Once safe inside the American, sterile, beautifully built, magnificently maintained, well-engineered American flying miracle, ready to go to the big silver bird in the sky and go back to the United States and start a new life, we find out, no, actually, all of you, get up, back off the ramp you go. The general has a war trophy that he wants to bring home. Most of the people that were kicked off of that plane in order to make room for this general's war trophy are either dead now or going to be dead within the next few weeks or months. And so my question for Major General Christopher Donahue, the last American soldier to leave Afghanistan, is simply this. What are the names of the people who you kicked off of that airplane so that you could take your war trophy home? What are their names? I want to see Donahue's list, not a list of the people who were saved, the people who were killed in order to have this general bring this thing back home to America in triumph. I want to know their names, and I want to see their faces too, because those are real people and this really happened.